Welcome to World Explorer. Under the vast Montana sky, where the Yellowstone River carves its path through Billings' rugged plains, there's a story that lingers in the shadows. It's the story of those without a home. Their lives unfolding in alleyways, shelters, and forgotten corners of a city celebrated for its beauty. This World Explorer isn't just about a place, it's about the people who carry their worlds in tattered bags, their dreams tested by the relentless grind of survival. As we walk their paths, we invite you to see Billings through their eyes, to feel the weight of their resilience, and to witness a truth that demands to be heard. Introduction: Unveiling a Hidden Crisis. Billings, Montana, with a population of roughly 117,000, is the state's economic and cultural hub. Nestled against the dramatic rim rocks and framed by the Yellowstone River, it's a destination known for its vibrant downtown, historic charm, and proximity to Yellowstone National Park. Yet beneath this inviting facade lies a growing crisis: homelessness. In this World Explorer, we dive deep into the realities of life on the streets, exploring the economic, social, and human factors driving this issue. If you're inspired by stories that reveal the soul of a community, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to World Explorer for more journeys that challenge and connect. Let's begin. The scale of homelessness in Billings has reached critical levels, mirroring national trends. According to the Montana Continuum of Care, an estimated 1,200 individuals experienced homelessness in Yellowstone County in 2024, a 15% increase from 2020. Of these, 40% were over 55, 20% were families with children, 10% were veterans, and 15% were youth under 25. The annual point-in-time count conducted each January identified 300 unsheltered individuals in Billings, though experts believe this underestimates the true scope due to hidden populations in rural areas or temporary shelters. Chronic homelessness, defined as being homeless for a year or more or repeatedly, affects 25% of this group. In 2024, 150 individuals were classified as chronically homeless, facing unique barriers to stability. These numbers paint a stark picture of a diverse population united by struggle. Why do you think homelessness is rising in cities like Billings? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Economic forces fueling the crisis. The economic landscape in Billings is a primary driver of homelessness. The median home price in the city soared to $375,000 in 2024, a 25% increase from 2019, while median rent for a one-bedroom apartment now averages $1,200 per month. Montana's minimum wage of $10.30 per hour yields an annual income of roughly $21,400 for full-time workers, far below the $36,000 needed to afford a one-bedroom apartment at market rates. For low-income residents, financial stability is fragile. A single setback, medical debt, a layoff, or a rent hike can spiral into eviction and homelessness. In 2024, the Montana Rescue Mission, Billings' largest shelter, reported being at capacity with wait lists stretching 3 weeks. Local housing authorities processed 1,500 applications for subsidized housing, but only 200 units were available. Eviction rates in Billings rose by 10% in 2024, with 600 households displaced. This World Explorer unpacks how these economic pressures push people to the brink. Homelessness is more than data. It's about people with unique stories. On the streets of Billings, you might meet a former factory worker who lost his job during a recession and now camps near the Yellowstone River, his tent patched with duct tape, or a single mother juggling 2 part-time jobs, her car doubling as a bedroom for her and her 2 children. Through interviews with non-profits like Off the Streets, we hear from individuals who face profound challenges, yet hold on to hope. One woman, a former nurse, described how a divorce and $20,000 in medical debt left her homeless at 58. A young man who aged out of foster care shared his years of couch surfing before finding a shelter. Another, a veteran with PTSD, spoke of struggling to access VA benefits. These stories, gathered over weeks of fieldwork, reveal the resilience and humanity of those navigating homelessness. They underscore a universal truth. This crisis stems from systemic and personal hardships, not personal failings. Billings is home to organizations working tirelessly to combat homelessness. The Montana Rescue Mission, the city's largest shelter, provides beds for up to 150 people nightly, serving over 50,000 meals and 40,000 nights of shelter in 2024. Beyond basic needs, it offers job training, addiction recovery programs, and case management, helping 300 individuals access employment or housing. Last year, Tumbleweed, a non-profit focused on youth homelessness, supported over 300 young people annually, providing counseling, education, and housing assistance. Its drop-in center served 500 youth in 2024, offering meals, showers, and a safe space. Smaller organizations like the Hub Community Center connect 1,000 clients annually with healthcare, legal aid, and food assistance. Family Promise of Yellowstone Valley supports 50 families with children, offering temporary housing and financial literacy programs. Despite these efforts, resources are stretched thin. The rescue mission turned away 200 people due to lack of space, and Tumbleweed reported a 30% surge in service requests. This World Explorer celebrates these organizations while exposing the gaps they struggle to fill. Shelters and nonprofits face significant hurdles. Funding is a perennial challenge. The Montana Rescue Mission operates on a $2.5 million budget, with 60% from private donations, 30% from grants, and 10% from fundraising events like charity runs. A 10% drop in donations in 2024 forced cutbacks in meal services. Staffing shortages are another issue, with caseworkers earning $15 per hour, leading to a 20% vacancy rate. Public opposition complicates efforts. A 2023 shelter expansion proposal faced pushback from residents citing concerns about property values and crime, delaying the project by 6 months. Zoning restrictions also limit where shelters can operate, with only 5% of city land zoned for such facilities. These barriers raise a critical question: how can communities balance compassion with practical concerns? Share your perspective in the comments. Montana's climate poses a severe challenge for those without shelter. In Billings, winter temperatures can drop to -20 degrees Fahrenheit, with wind chills reaching -40 degrees. Snow accumulation averages 55 inches annually, and icy conditions increase risks of frostbite and hypothermia. The city's Code Blue program activates emergency warming centers when temperatures fall below 10 degrees Fahrenheit, serving 500 people during a week-long cold snap in 2024. These centers provide blankets, hot meals, and cots, but they're temporary, operating only during extreme weather. For those in tents, cars, or makeshift shelters, staying warm is a daily struggle. Many rely on donated hand warmers, sleeping bags, and tarps, but resources are scarce. In 2024, charities distributed 2,000 blankets and 1,000 coats, yet demand outstripped supply by far. Local fire departments reported 10 hypothermia-related calls involving homeless individuals last winter. This World Explorer captures the contrast between Billings' scenic beauty and the brutal realities of surviving its winters. But mental health and substance abuse are deeply intertwined with homelessness. In Yellowstone County, 25% of homeless individuals report untreated mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, or PTSD, while 15% struggle with substance use disorders, per the Montana Department of Public Health. Access to care is limited. Billings has one public mental health clinic, with wait times averaging 3 months. The Rimrock Foundation, a local addiction treatment center, offers 50 beds, but faces a backlog of 200 patients. In 2024, Rimrock provided counseling to 1,200 individuals. but only 30% completed treatment due to lack of follow-up care. Nationally, 20% of homeless individuals have a serious mental illness, and Billings reflects this trend. Untreated conditions lead to job loss, eviction, and prolonged homelessness, while homelessness exacerbates mental health struggles. Integrated support, housing, healthcare, and counseling is critical but underfunded. This World Explorer explores how these challenges shape recovery paths. Public perception often worsens the challenges of homelessness in Billings. Some residents view homeless individuals as a problem to be managed, leading to policies that prioritize enforcement over empathy. In 2023, the City Council debated ordinances to ban public camping in parks and under bridges, proposing fines of $500 or 30 days in jail. The proposal, which passed narrowly, sparked protests from advocates who argued it criminalizes poverty. Community surveys showed 60% of residents supported stricter laws, while 40% favored more services. These measures push homeless individuals further from resources, making recovery harder. Education is key to shifting attitudes. By sharing stories, this travel documentary aims to foster empathy, showing that homelessness is a systemic issue, not a personal failing. Billings is exploring creative approaches to homelessness. In 2024, the city partnered with Habitat for Humanity to develop a 50-unit affordable housing complex, set to open in 2026. Each unit costs $150,000 to build, with rents capped at 30% of residents' income. Micro-shelter villages, inspired by Missoula's 60-unit project, are under consideration. These tiny homes, priced at $10,000 each, provide privacy and stability. In Missoula, 70% of residents transition to permanent housing within a year. The Housing First model, prioritizing permanent housing before addressing addiction or mental health, reduced chronic homelessness by 20% in Billings pilot programs. Other cities, like Denver, prevented 5,000 evictions in 2023 through rental assistance. Permanent supportive housing, combining housing with wraparound services, has housed 10,000 people nationwide. Billings is also piloting a mobile laundry unit serving 200 people monthly. What innovative solutions have you seen elsewhere? Share your ideas in the comments. Policy decisions are critical to addressing homelessness. In 2023, Montana's legislature allocated $5 million to homeless services, but advocates estimate a $20 million annual need. Federal funding, like HUD's Continuum of Care grants, provides $18 million to Yellowstone County, supporting shelters and outreach. However, competitive applications limit access, and funds are often restricted to specific groups, like veterans. The Billings Homeless Coalition is pushing for zoning reforms to allow multifamily housing, as only 10% of city land is zoned for such projects. They also advocate for $10 million in mental health funding, which could reach 10,000 Montanans. In 2024, the coalition hosted 10 forums, engaging 1,500 residents. National policies, like expanding Medicaid, could cover 50,000 uninsured Montanans. Understanding these dynamics is essential to grasping the crisis in Billings. Homelessness is a call to action for communities. Volunteering, donating, or supporting policy reforms can create change. In 2024, Billings Drives collected 10,000 pounds of clothing, 5,000 hygiene kits, and $50,000 for non-profits. Businesses are stepping up. A local coffee shop hired 10 formerly homeless individuals, offering training and wages of $12 per hour. Crowdfunding raised $75,000 for warming centers. Small actions, like sharing this video, amplify awareness. The stories in this World Explorer highlight struggle and the strength of connection. Let's keep the conversation alive. Subscribe to World Explorer for more stories that inspire. Employment is key to escaping homelessness, but barriers like transportation and lack of resumes hinder progress. The Montana Rescue Mission's job training program served 200 people in 2024. with 60 securing jobs in retail, construction or hospitality. A Billings restaurant chain hired 15 formerly homeless individuals, providing uniforms and flexible schedules. Nationally, similar programs have employed 20,000 homeless individuals annually. Scaling these efforts requires more funding and employer partnerships, but they show transformative opportunities. Healthcare access is a major barrier in Billings. 30% of homeless individuals have chronic conditions like diabetes, but only 10% see a doctor regularly. Riverstone Health Clinic served 2,000 patients in 2024, but funding limits capacity. Dental care wait lists stretch 6 months. Mobile health units reached 500 people with basic care, showing promise. Integrating healthcare with housing and employment is vital. Nationally, 50% of homeless individuals lack consistent healthcare, exacerbating the cycle. Volunteers and donors are essential. In 2024, 1,200 volunteers gave 10,000 hours at the Montana Rescue Mission, serving meals and mentoring. Tumbleweed's 300 volunteers provided tutoring. A $100 donation covers 50 meals or a week's hygiene supplies. Community drives raised $75,000 for warming centers. Sustaining these efforts requires ongoing commitment. Raising awareness is crucial to combating stigma. Community workshops in Billings reached 2,000 residents in 2024, sharing stories to humanize homelessness. Schools are also involved, with 10 high schools hosting drives for shelters. Media campaigns like billboards and radio spots reached 50,000 people, promoting volunteer opportunities. These efforts shift perceptions, encouraging empathy and action. Faith-based groups play a significant role. Churches in Billings provided 5,000 meals and 1,000 nights of shelter in 2024. They also offer counseling and job referrals, serving 500 individuals. Partnerships with non-profits amplify their impact, but funding and volunteer burnout are challenges. Their work shows the power of compassion-driven action. Technology is aiding solutions. Billings uses a homeless management information system to track 1,000 individuals, improving resource allocation. Mobile apps connect 200 people to services monthly. Data-driven approaches like predictive modeling identify at-risk households, preventing 100 evictions in 2024. Expanding these tools could enhance efficiency. Billings, Montana is more than just the state's largest city. It's a vibrant hub brimming with history, culture, and quirky charm that makes it a fascinating stop for any traveler. Known as the Magic City for its rapid growth in the early 20th century, Billings sprang up almost overnight after the Northern Pacific Railway arrived in 1882, transforming a small settlement into a bustling trade center. Today, with a population of roughly 117,000, it remains Montana's economic powerhouse, blending urban energy with the rugged beauty of the Yellowstone Valley. One fun fact is that Billings sits at the base of the Rimrocks, dramatic sandstone cliffs that stretch for miles and offer breathtaking views, hiking trails, and even ancient Native American petroglyphs, if you know where to look. The city's cowboy culture is legendary, hosting the Montana Fair, one of the largest fairs in the region, drawing over 200,000 visitors annually for rodeos, concerts, and carnival rides. Billings is also home to the historic Moss Mansion, a 1903 red sandstone estate turned museum where you can step back in time to explore the opulent lives of early Montana tycoons. For beer enthusiasts, Billings boasts the most breweries per capita in Montana, with over a dozen craft spots like Thirsty Street Brewing Company, crafting unique brews inspired by the region. The city's brewery trail is a must for visitors, offering a tasty way to explore local flavors. Nature lovers will be thrilled to know Billings is a gateway to adventure. It's just 90 miles from Yellowstone National Park. But you don't need to go that far for outdoor fun. Pompey's Pillar, a sandstone monolith 25 miles east, bears the only physical evidence of the Lewis and Clark expedition. With William Clark's signature carved in 1806, Billings also claims the title of Montana's trailhead capital, with over 40 miles of urban trails like the Swords Park Trail, perfect for biking or sunset walks. History buffs might be surprised to learn that Billings was once a stopover for Calamity Jane, the infamous Wild West figure who reportedly caused a stir in local saloons. The city's art scene is another hidden gem. The Yellowstone Art Museum, housed in a former jail, showcases contemporary and regional works, drawing 30,000 visitors yearly. Foodies will love the annual Strawberry Festival, where 10,000 pounds of strawberries are transformed into desserts and jams. Billings' diversity shines through its Native American heritage, with the nearby Crow Reservation hosting the annual Crow Fair, one of the largest powwows in the US. Finally, did you know Billings has a quirky obsession with dinosaurs? The city is near some of the richest fossil beds in the world, and the Carter County Museum, a short drive away, displays T-Rex skeletons found in the region. From its Wild West roots to its modern-day charm, Billings is a city full of surprises waiting to be explored. Billings is a city of contrasts. Stunning landscapes and hidden struggles, thriving communities and marginalized lives. This world explorer has explored the streets, shelters and stories of homelessness, revealing a crisis demanding action. The numbers, 1,200 homeless, $375,000 home prices, 40% over 55, are sobering. Yet the resilience of individuals, the work of organizations, and the potential for community action offer hope. How can we build a future where everyone has a home? Thank you for joining World Explorer.